What if I told you 6 months could totally flip your life upside down in the best way? Would you rethink what you're doing right now? Hey, it's awesome to connect with you today, my friend, because if you're here, you're ready to forge your future. Most folks overestimate what they can crush in a day, but sell themselves short on what they can achieve in 6 months. Success isn't luck. It's hammered out through daily disciplined choices. Too many people just drift caught up in TikTok scrolls, Instagram reels, or the grind of remote work chaos. They're hustling without a map. But you're different, aren't you? Life doesn't reward those who coast it, rewards those who shape their path with purpose. Picture the next 6 months as a forge, and every day's a spark. What are you forging today? What's holding you back? Because when you commit to these 6 months, you're not just chasing goals, you're crafting a life you're proud of. In 2025, with social media and work stress hitting from all angles, 6 months is your golden shot. Jim Rohn nailed it. Success is just a few simple disciplines done every day. I used to think I needed a lifetime to make a dent, but I learned you only need 180 days to spark a breakthrough. I'm here to share a game-changing philosophy, 10 principles to turn these 6 months into a turning point. This isn't about get-rich-quick schemes. It's about forging a future you can stand tall in one day at a time, ready to dive in. Stick with me because what you're about to learn could shift your life's trajectory starting now. Where do you want to be in 6 months? Let's get to work and start hammering out your masterpiece. First up, let's define your goals. Ever feel stuck like coins lost in a fog just because you don't know what you're aiming for? Those days you want to level up, make more cash, nail a big project, or live with purpose, but you wake up directionless. Scrolling TikTok or Instagram or buried in remote work emails. Suddenly months pass, and you're still spinning your wheels wondering, why am I not moving forward? That's the pain of living without clear goals, leaving you wandering in your own life. I used to think hard work was enough. But here's the truth. Vague goals give vague results. If you're lost in the fog, how do you find your way? Defining your goals is your light. It sharpens your focus and lights up your path to success. It's not just wishing it's a spotlight on your next 6 months. In 2025, with distractions everywhere, clarity is your superpower. This light shows you what you want, not just what you don't want. Winners don't guess, they write down specific goals like boosting income by 30% or reading 10 books. Just 10 minutes of goal setting can turn "I'm clueless" into "I've got a plan." When you're clear, the universe seems to line up to help you win. You might say, "Jim, I'm not good at setting goals," but let me ask, do you want to succeed, to grow, to live your best life? If you said yes, you can get clear. Not because it's easy, but because it's essential. Clarity isn't something you stumble into, it's built especially when you pause to map out your future. Think of goal setting as your compass for the next 6 months. Every goal you write is a beacon guiding you through the noise of social media or work. And here's the deal, when you know where you're headed, you're not just working, you're leading. Today, take 10 minutes to write 3 specific goals for the next 6 months, like increasing your income, learning a new skill, or getting healthier, and note how clear you feel. Tomorrow, review those goals and jot down your motivation. This week, tweak your goals daily for 7 days, tracking your focus. What fog's hiding your coins? Vagueness, social media, or no goals? Will you stay lost or light your path? If you don't get clear, you'll wander, missing big wins. But when you shine that light, when you define your goals, you don't just live, you lead. What's clouding your way? What light will you spark? Start now. Every goal is a ray in your masterpiece. Next, let's shape your mindset. Ever let setbacks drag you down like coins buried in trash because you react the wrong way? Those times you want to push forward, make bank, overcome hurdles, or live better. But a roadblock like a rough day at remote work or a negative TikTok comment leaves you discouraged, complaining, and stalled. Suddenly you're stuck in a negative loop asking, why can't I break through? That's the pain of letting outside events control your future, keeping you down. I used to let failures knock me out, but here's a game changer. It's not what happens that shapes your life, it's how you handle it. If your mind's full of trash, how do you steer your future? Shaping your mindset is your sail. It sets how you navigate life's storms. A positive, proactive mindset isn't about pretending everything's perfect. It's choosing to turn challenges into opportunities. In 2025, with social media and work throwing curveballs, the right mindset is your biggest asset. This sale turns failures into lessons, obstacles into fuel. Winners don't let events run them, they ask, "What can I learn? How do I do better?" Just 5 minutes of positive thinking can shift "I'm done" to "I'm growing." When you shape your mindset, you don't just get by, you take charge. You might say, "Jim, I can't stay positive, but let me ask, do you want to win, to grow, to own your life?" If yes, you can train your mind, not because it's a breeze, but because it's critical. Your mindset isn't fixed, it's molded, especially when you choose how to face tough days. Think of your mind as a ship, and every thought's a gust of wind. A strong sail keeps you on course no matter the storm. And guess what? When you steer with positivity, you're not just surviving, you're leading. Today, list one recent setback and a positive way to tackle it, like learning from a mistake and note how it feels. Tomorrow, face a small challenge with that mindset and log the result. This week, reframe setbacks daily for 7 days, tracking your grit. What trash is burying your coins? Negativity, social media, or bad reactions? Will you let it sink you or set your sail? If you don't shift your mindset, you'll stay stuck, missing breakthroughs. But when you steer, right when you choose your response, you don't just live, you soar. What's weighing you down? What sail will you set? Start now. Every positive thought is a breeze for your masterpiece. Now let's choose your connections. Ever feel drained, like coins dimmed by clouds because you're hanging with the wrong crowd? Those days you want to crush it. Make more money, hit big goals, or stay positive, but you're surrounded by naysayers on TikTok, toxic coworkers in remote meetings, or friends who say that'll never work. Suddenly your drive fades, you doubt yourself, and you're like, why do I keep getting pulled back? That's the pain of letting the wrong people shape your next 6 months, dulling your shine. I used to spend time with folks who zap my energy, but here's the truth. You're the average of the 5 people you hang with most. If clouds are blocking you, how do you shine? Choosing your connections is your spark. It ignites your inspiration and growth. Picking the right people isn't about ditching everyone. It's about finding those who lift you up, push you to be better. In 2025, with social media and work draining your vibe, the right connections are your superpower. This spark lets you learn from winners, fuel your confidence, and get closer to your 6-month goals. Top performers don't roll with energy vampires. They seek out mentors, positive friends, or driven peers. Just 5 minutes with the right person can turn "I can't" into "I'm ready." When you choose great connections, you don't just grow, you blaze. You might say, "Jim, I can't pick my coworkers, but let me ask, do you want to succeed, to thrive, to lead?" If yes, you can choose who influences you, not because it's simple, but because it's vital. Your circle shapes your mindset, your hustle, your life. Think of your connections as kindling some spark of fire, others just smoke you out. And here's the kicker. When you surround yourself with winners, you're not just networking, you're leading. Today, list the 5 people you spend the most time with and note their impact, good or bad. Tomorrow, reach out to one inspiring person like a mentor and log how it feels. This week, connect with positive folks daily for 7 days, tracking your motivation. What clouds are dimming your coins? Toxic vibes, social media, or the wrong crowd? Will you let them dull you or ignite your spark? If you don't choose your circle, you'll fade, missing your shine. But when you spark up, when you pick the right people, you don't just live, you light up. What's clouding your vibe? What spark will you kindle? Start now. Every connection is a flame in your masterpiece. Onto tracking your progress. Ever lose your mojo, like coins lost in shadows because you can't see how far you've come? Those times you want to transform, make more bucks, hit big goals, or live better, but you grind without keeping tabs, distracted by TikTok, Instagram, or remote work stress, feeling like you're going nowhere. Suddenly you think you're stuck, asking, "I'm working hard, why no results?" That's the pain of not tracking your journey, leaving you blind to your growth. I used to hustle without jotting anything down, but here's a game changer. If you don't track, you can't see how far you've traveled. If shadows hide you, how do you know you're moving? Tracking your progress is your map. It shows where you're headed in these 6 months. Journaling isn't about writing a novel, it's capturing small wins lessons to keep your fire burning. In 2025, with social media and work pulling you off track, tracking is your biggest tool. This map helps you spot progress tweak when you're off and stay confident. Winners don't work in the dark, they log every step like a task nailed or a lesson learned. Just 5 minutes of journaling can turn "I'm getting nowhere" into "I'm on my way." When you track, you're not just working, you're steering. You might say, "Jim, journaling's not my thing," but let me ask, do you want results, to grow? To own your path, if yes, you can track. Not because it's fun, but because it's key. Your progress isn't invisible, it's revealed when you mark it down. Think of journaling as your GPS for the next 6 months. Every entry's a pin showing you're closer to your goals. And here's the deal, when you see your wins, you're not just grinding, you're leading. Today, take 5 minutes to journal one win like finishing a task and note your pride. Tomorrow, track a habit like reading and log your consistency. This week, journal daily for 7 days, tracking your growth. What shadows are hiding your coins? Vagueness, social media, or no tracking? Will you stay blind or draw your map? If you don't track, you'll miss your progress, losing momentum. But when you map it, when you log your wins, you don't just live, you navigate. What's obscuring your path? What map will you draw? Start now. Every entry's a marker in your masterpiece. Hold up journal one win today and draw your map. Join Forge Fire. Smash that subscribe button for more life-changing tools. Turn on notifications. Now let's invest in yourself. Ever feel trapped like coins tossed in a storm because you're not learning new skills? Those days you want to break out, make more money, climb higher, or live bolder, but you stick to old routines. Scrolling TikTok or Instagram or drowning in remote work pressure, never growing. Suddenly you're falling behind, opportunities slip away, and you're like, why am I not further along? That's the pain of not investing in yourself, leaving you stuck in life's race. I used to think my job was enough, but here's the truth. If you don't learn, you're not just standing still, you're sliding back. If a storm's tossing you, how do you stand firm? Investing in yourself is your fuel. It powers your growth and boosts your worth. Learning isn't just books or courses, it's a commitment to sharpen your mind and skills, making success chase you. In 2025, with social media and work holding you back daily, learning is your edge. This fuel expands your vision, solves problems better, and opens big doors. Top performers never stop learning. They read books, listen to podcasts, or find mentors to grow. Just 10 minutes of learning daily can shift. I don't know too. I've got this. When you invest in yourself, you don't just improve, you lead. You might say, "Jim, I don't have time to learn." But let me ask, got time for Instagram, for work stress? If you do, you've got time to grow. Not because it's easy, but because it's crucial. Knowledge isn't handed to you, it's earned, especially when you prioritize yourself. Think of learning as filling your tank for the next 6 months. Every skill or idea you gain is a gallon of fuel driving you toward goals you thought were out of reach. And here's the kicker. When you grow your skills, you're not just working, you're leading. Today, buy one personal growth book on leadership, money, or mindset and note your commitment. Tomorrow, learn one new skill like time management and log your progress. This week, spend 10 minutes learning daily, reading, or watching a course and track your insights. What storm's tossing your coins? Laziness, social media, or no learning? Will you get swept away or fuel up? If you don't invest in yourself, you'll stay stuck, missing big breaks. But when you fuel up, when you learn daily, you don't just live, you accelerate. What's holding you back? What fuel will you spark? Start now. Every skill's a boost for your masterpiece. Let's talk about taking small steps. Ever wait for a big leap, like coins buried in dry soil, because you overlook small changes? Those times you want massive shifts, more money, big goals, or a better life, but you hold off for the perfect moment, distracted by TikTok, Instagram, or remote work exhaustion, thinking small moves don't count. Suddenly 6 months fly by and you're still at square one, wondering, why haven't I moved? That's the pain of ignoring the power of small steps, letting your dreams wither. I used to wait for grand opportunities, but here's the truth. Bomb success doesn't come from giant leaps. It's built from tiny daily changes. If dry soil's burying you, how do you grow? Taking small steps is your seed. It sprouts into huge results. Incremental progress isn't slacking, it's planting seeds daily to harvest success in 6 months. In 2025, with social media and work tempting you to procrastinate, small steps are your secret weapon. This seed builds habits, stacks progress, and gets you to goals you thought were too far. Champions don't wait for miracles, they improve 1% daily, like reading 5 minutes or a quick workout. Just 5 minutes of a small action can turn "I'll do it later" into "I'm moving forward." When you plant these seeds, you don't just change, you break through. You might say, "Jim, small stuff feels pointless," but let me ask, want results, growth, a life you love? If yes, small steps are your path, not because they're flashy, but because they work. Progress isn't instant, it's grown, especially when you keep showing up. Think of small steps as seeds in your 6-month garden. Every 1% improvement is a sprout building toward a big harvest. And here's the deal. When you stack small wins, you're not just inching along, you're leading. Today, improve one habit by 1%, like reading 5 minutes, and note the shift you feel. Tomorrow, repeat that improvement and log your progress. This week, improve daily for 7 days, tracking your growth. What dry soil's burying your coins? Procrastination, social media, or waiting for big moves? Will you stay barren or plant your seed? If you don't take small steps, you'll stay stuck, missing your bloom. But when you plant, when you improve daily, you don't just live, you flourish. What's holding you back? What seed will you sow? Start now. Every step's a sprout in your masterpiece. Next, set bold ambitions. Ever aim too low, like coins dulled by dust because your goals don't fire you up? Those days you want to dominate, make serious cash, leave a mark, or live epic. But you settle for safe targets, distracted by TikTok, Instagram, or remote work pressure, afraid to challenge yourself. Suddenly you hit those small goals but feel empty, asking, "Why don't I feel fulfilled?" That's the pain of playing it safe with your ambitions dimming your spark. I used to set tiny goals to avoid failing, but here's the deal. If your goals don't scare you, they're not big enough to change you. If dust's dulling you, how do you shine? Setting bold ambitions is your flame. It ignites your drive and pushes you to new heights. Big dreams aren't reckless. They're daring to aim for what excites you, what makes you stretch. In 2025, with social media and work trying to shrink your vision, bold ambitions are your power. This flame fuels your grit, helping you smash barriers and achieve what seems impossible in 6 months. Leaders don't think small. They set audacious goals like launching a business or switching careers, then break them down to conquer. Just 10 minutes of dreaming big can shift. "I'm just okay" to "I'm going for it." When you aim high, you don't just move, you explode. You might say, "Jim, big goals feel risky," but let me ask, want to win big, live large, lead your life? If yes, you need bold dreams, not because they're safe, but because they're worth it. Ambition isn't reckless. It's crafted especially when you dare to think bigger. Think of bold goals as your fire for the next 6 months. Every big dream is a blaze lighting up your path. And here's the truth: when you chase what scares you, you're not just dreaming, you're leading. Today, take 10 minutes to write one bold 6-month goal, like starting a side hustle or doubling your income, and note your excitement. Tomorrow, break it into daily tasks and log your plan. This week, tackle one task daily for 7 days, tracking your drive. What dust's dulling your coins? Playing it safe, social media, or small dreams? Will you stay dim or light your flame? If you aim low, you'll stay small, missing your spark. But when you dream big, when you set bold goals, you don't just live, you burn bright. What's dimming your fire? What flame will you ignite? Start now. Every bold ambition's a blaze in your masterpiece. Let's raise your standards. Ever settle for less, like coins swept away by waves because your bar's too low? Those times you want to soar, make more money, get fit, or build epic relationships, but you tolerate a boring job scroll, TikTok or Instagram, or let remote work stress make you compromise. Suddenly your life's just average and you're like, "Why aren't I achieving more?" That's the pain of low standards shaping you, washing away your dreams. I used to accept what was easy, but here's a truth bomb. Your life always flows toward the standards you set. If waves are sweeping you, how do you stand firm? Raising your standards is your anchor. It holds you steady and lifts you higher. High standards aren't about perfection. They're about refusing anything less than what you deserve. In 2025, with social media and work tempting you to settle, raising your bar is your strength. This anchor demands more from you, your health, career, relationships, life. Top dogs don't accept mediocrity. They set high bars like no procrastination or only positive vibes. Just 5 minutes thinking about a new standard can turn good enough into I want better. When you raise your standards, you don't just live, you shine. You might say gym high standards sound tough, but let me ask, want greatness growth? A life you're proud of. If yes, you need a higher bar, not because it's comfy, but because it's necessary. Your standards aren't random, they're set especially when you decide what you won't tolerate. Think of standards as your anchor for the next 6 months. Every high bar you set keeps you grounded through life's storms. And here's the deal, when you demand more, you're not just living, you're leading. Today, take 5 minutes to list one standard you'll raise like health or work focus, and note your commitment. Tomorrow, act on that standard like hitting the gym or staying off social media and log the change. This week, raise your bar daily for 7 days, tracking your rise. What waves are sweeping your coins? Settling social media or low bars, will you get washed away or drop your anchor? If you keep low standards, you'll stay average, losing your edge. But when you anchor high, when you demand better, you don't just live, you rise. What's pulling you down? What anchor will you set? Start now. Every high standard's a hold in your masterpiece. Now build daily habits. Ever stumble like coins trapped in a maze because you lack consistent habits? Those days you want to break through, make more cash, crush big goals, or live with meaning. But you're all over the place, sucked into TikTok, Instagram, or remote work chaos, doing stuff one day and slacking the next. Suddenly 6 months pass, and you're right where you started asking, why am I still stuck? That's the pain of living without steady habits, leaving you lost in a maze. I used to work in fits and starts, but here's the truth. Your life's shaped by what you do every single day, not what you do once in a blue moon. If you're caught in a maze, how do you find the way out? Building daily habits is your forge. It molds the future you want. Habits aren't big, flashy moves. They're small actions done consistently that forge massive change in 6 months. In 2025, with social media and work trying to derail you, habits are your powerhouse. This forge builds discipline, inches you toward goals, and makes you the person you want to be. Winners don't rely on bursts of inspiration. They craft habits like waking early or reading daily. Just 5 minutes starting a habit can turn I'll try into I'm doing it. When you forge habits, you don't just improve, you shape your destiny. You might say gym habits are hard, but let me ask, want results, a better life to lead. If yes, habits are your foundation, not because they're glamorous, but because they're everything. Your future isn't built on random acts, it's forged in daily routines. Think of habits as your forge for the next 6 months. Every routine you stick to is a hammer strike shaping your success. And here's the truth, when you're consistent, you're not just working, you're leading. Today, take 5 minutes to start one small habit, like waking up 30 minutes earlier, and note your resolve. Tomorrow, stick with it and log your consistency. This week, keep that habit daily for 7 days, tracking your discipline. What maze is trapping your coins? Inconsistency, social media, or no habits? Will you stay lost or build your forge? If you don't build habits, you'll wander, missing your way. But when you forge them, when you show up daily, you don't just live, you create. What's tripping you up? What forge will you fire up? Start now. Every habit's a strike in your masterpiece. Finally, practice gratitude. Ever feel empty like coins fading in a dim dawn because you overlook what you've got? Those days you want to push forward, make more money, hit big goals, or live happier, but you focus on what's missing, caught in TikTok, Instagram, or remote work stress, ignoring the good around you. Suddenly life feels flat and you're like, why don't I feel fulfilled? That's the pain of not being grateful, dimming your joy and chances in these 6 months. I used to dwell on what I lacked, but here's a game changer. Gratitude turns what you have into enough opening doors to more. If the dawn's fading, how do you see the beauty? Practicing gratitude is your compass. It guides you to abundance and positivity. Gratitude isn't just saying thanks, it's choosing to see the good, no matter how small, to fuel your soul and attract better things. In 2025, with social media and work pulling you down, gratitude's your greatest strength. This compass brings joy, cuts stress, and draws in more wins. Champions always give thanks. They jot down what they value, like family or a solid workday. Just 5 minutes of gratitude can shift. I'm missing out to I've got plenty. When you practice gratitude, you don't just live, you glow. You might say, Jim, I don't feel grateful. But let me ask, want peace, joy, a life that shines? If yes, you can choose gratitude, not because it's cheesy, but because it works. Happiness isn't found, it's built, especially when you focus on what's good. Think of gratitude as your compass for the next 6 months. Every thankful moment steers you toward a richer life. And here's the deal. When you're grateful, you're not just living, you're leading. Today, take 5 minutes to write 3 things you're grateful for, like health, friends, or a small win, and note your joy. Tomorrow, share your gratitude with someone, like thanking a pal, and log their reaction. This week, practice gratitude daily for 7 days, tracking your positivity. What dawns? Dimming your coins, complaining, social media, or no gratitude? Will you stay faded or steer your compass? If you skip gratitude, you'll stay empty, missing life's glow. But when you give thanks, when you practice it daily, you don't just live, you radiate. What's clouding your light? What compass will you follow? Start now. Every thank you's a guide in your masterpiece. Hold up, write 3 things you're grateful for today and steer your compass. Join Forge Fire Hit. Subscribe for more life-changing hacks. Turn on notifications. You've just unlocked 10 powerful principles to transform your life in 6 months. Defining goals, shaping your mindset, choosing connections, tracking progress, investing in yourself, taking small steps, setting bold ambitions, raising standards, building habits, and practicing gratitude. Each principle's a spark every day, a chance to forge your masterpiece. Pause and feel it. Every small choice, from writing a goal to saying thanks, hammers out your future. You don't need luck, just one step today. The best of the best aren't different. They just forge these principles day after day, becoming someone success can't ignore. I'm challenging you. Now pick one principle, set a goal, learn something new, or give thanks. Commit to it daily for 6 months. Track your wins, grab a buddy to keep you sharp. Don't wait. Start today. How's that feel? As you push past TikTok, Instagram, and work chaos to craft your masterpiece, you'll be proud you began. Need more fuel? Join Forge Fire, subscribe for weekly sparks to shine. Smash that button and turn on notifications. Picture 6 months from now, standing unstoppable, your life a work of art, forged in the furnace of grit. That's not a fantasy, it's your forge day by day with relentless drive. You're the craftsman of your future. In 2025, when distractions try to pull you off course, you'll choose act and let success find you. You don't need to chase, your masterpiece will blaze. So what's your first principle today? Act now, your epic future's ready to be forged.